You are live.
All right, Dan and I have not seen each other's Halloween costumes. Dan, are you ready for the big reveal?
I'm ready,
Here
Andy.
we go. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Wow. Oh, so you're Barf. So you are Barf from Spaceballs. So we're both 90s movies. We didn't even coordinate this.
This is great. You look
the dude. I shaved
background.
the facial hair and everything. Yes.
Wow. You even got the background nailed.
The bowling alley background, Andy. Did you do the makeup or did the wife do the makeup? Because that looks amazing.
I did it. I somehow did it myself. And
well done. You look,
yeah.
And I hate to say you look like Barf because that feels like it's an insult, but you really look like Barf. Well
done. You nailed it. And you were saying you got a 90s, the band that did your wedding is performing tonight, so you get to go wear your costume.
They're doing a whole 90s theme night. So the Big Lebowski, I'm just very much looking forward to walking up to the bar and ordering a White Russian and seeing if they have any clue what a White Russian
anybody
is.
Gets it. That's great. That's great. All right, let's get this show started.
It's Football Friday, baby.
Let's go. Welcome to WagerTalk Today. It is Football Friday. Yanni is going to lead us off with the Steam report. Teddy's going to cover the World Series. We're going to talk Tennessee, Oklahoma, Chiefs, and Bills. And, of course, we got to do Sell Me. Marco is going to talk Colts and Steelers. Marco and I are going head-to-head. My team versus his team, Vanderbilt, Texas. We got the sauce of the week, but we're going to do Halloween candy. And Dan and I will wrap it up with our pick 5 in the mega contest. All right, let's do it. Let's bring on Yanni. Hit the like button. If our costumes can't earn a like and subscribe, what are we doing here, folks? What are we doing here? Yanni, happy Friday. How are you?
Happy Friday. I can't believe I'm just giving out free rugby picks right now. If you go to WagerTalk, you're going to be getting free rugby. In fact, I'm giving out 2 bets on the exact same side, one on the money line and one on the minus the points. It's that strong of a play that we betting it 2 different ways. So those usually do very well.
Yeah, guy that does our cricket, he loves rugby. There's some really, really soft lines in certain leagues. So I am
really,
mad at you.
I couldn't tell you anything about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He changed his entire bankroll and year with a future bet on rugby. But all right, let's Oh yeah. All right, let's get started with the Steam report. What are you seeing here? What sport you want to start with?
You tell me.
NFL
yeah,
it is.
It's all about football. It's all about football this week. So let's dive right into the NFL. I'll tell you what I got latest. Let me pull up the latest stuff because it's constantly evolving and constantly changing throughout the week. So let me pull up the latest NFL for you guys. All right. It's a good week of NFL, man. My package is going to go up today because I got a 5%. I've been holding off, but there's a couple in there already. So let's start off with where they go. Chicago Bears, 451. Chicago over Cincinnati. They bet the look ahead. They laid the -1.5. They bet them all the way up to -2.5, where it's now juiced and books are holding off from going to 3 because that sets up a really, really nice middle. And they never want that to happen. Move down to 464. Houston also opened at a coin flip pick'em. Looking at as high as 1.5 juice now, 1.5 -115. Sets up as a nice teaser on the Denver side, regardless of what side you like. You get them up to 6.5, 7.5, forgive me, with a total of 40. You're sitting pretty good there. What else do I have for you? People are going to be afraid of this one. 466, Tennessee Titans plus the 10. Tennessee Titans, toughest schedule in all of the NFL. Desperate need of a win, getting double digits. So the Chargers are double-digit favorites on the road. So what would this line be if they were playing in L.A.? Forget about it. Move down to 468 Las Vegas, getting 3. They took the 3 on Vegas. No surprise there. 456 New England, -3, -4, 4.5, 5, 5.5. But we did see 6 get take back on Atlanta. So the take back on Atlanta at 6. ugly team like Tennessee getting 10. Minnesota even saw any book that went to 10, and none of the screens really did, but some of the off screens did, and that got picked off. So if books want to limit some of that Detroit risk, that's all they have to do. And let me give you a total too, because I know I think I had a total in here. Under. Where was that? Under in the Rams game, under 45.5 and 45 in the Rams, and under in the Dallas, under 54 in the Dallas game as well. So a lot of NFL, man, a lot of NFL. And of course, we'll be in the Steam room on Sunday, and I'll be on last call at about 8 a.m. Pacific time. What area?
We seeing anything in baseball of note? Anything that we got to take serious? Doesn't look like a whole lot of activity on line moves.
No, seeing Toronto money a little bit off the opener. No surprise. Home dog. I'm sure that the fans want to see a seventh game. Bettors a lot too. Most love, game sevens. The public so far split 50-50. Like the only thing I saw, like I said, when it got up to like 140 something, I saw some sharp money in the accounts. But again, that could be just because it was off number. If you're able to get a plus 135 when the rest of the market's plus 130, they're going to do it. So I think it's more a case of that than them actually hitting the board, because it's not really painted like that, what it looks like right now. Total over, of course, even though it was favored under at the opener, the markets moved it to the over. They've been betting every single one of these games over. No surprise, they're betting game 6 over as well. But like I said, the side is mixed. It's right down the middle from the betting public. So it'll be interesting if we get a game 7 or not. Historically, here's where we're at with this one. This exact breakdown where the home team wins game 1, loses game 2 and 3, wins game 4 and 5. In game 6, they're 1-3. It's only happened 4 times. They're 1-3 in game 6 in this finals round in the World Series. In all the playoff rounds, they're 5-4. So it's a coin flip kind of game tonight. Not surprised they took the plus money. At least that's what history tells us. And Toronto doesn't want to push it to a game 7 because all the pressure flips right there.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how that turns out.
What are you seeing in college football? And then we'll talk UFC.
All right. Ton of college football. I'll just yell out teams. East Carolina -4.5. Florida State. I'm bringing up Florida State because we saw two-way action. Florida State on one side at -8, 8.5. Wake Forest at +10. Central Florida +5, +4.5. Michigan -21. Texas -1.5. Utah keep getting hit, man. 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5. And like I said yesterday, I think yesterday morning they laid 9.5 as well. Really like that Utah side. Miami -10, 10.5, and 11. West Virginia +2 touchdowns. I love West Virginia. Troy -7. San Jose State -1.5, and Duke +3. Duke +3.
I forgot to mention we got to do a little NBA. By the way, did you see Orlando killed Charlotte?
Yeah,
it should have been. We should have known that was
so
coming.
Funny.
Like,
that was so funny.
Public all over Charlotte, a bad team.
We live in a, for sure. We're in a simulation. You can't make that stuff up.
Anything of note here in NBA? I'm going to check the starting lineups while you look up where the bets are going.
Yeah, let me look real quick too. I'm just so excited about these next couple days, man. There's just so much action, dude. So much action. I have been making cash bets tomorrow.
We had Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen are questionable. Mitchell Robinson's questionable. Of course, Giannis was probable the entire day. Then he ended up sitting.
And then you saw, yeah, exactly. This game's sticking out a lot. They like the Pacers. The home dog Pacers. Wow. It's getting like 80% percent of the tickets and 90+% of the money. So that means there's no sharp money anywhere else. It's all on Atlanta. That's why, on Indiana. But you're seeing the Atlanta line getting juiced. My sharpest out has Atlanta 2.5 juiced. Like, they don't want to go to 3 because the public's taking Indiana. But wow, interesting. Other game of note that sticks out. Where did it go? Nuggets, Denver Nuggets later tonight. Nuggets, and that line's dropping. Pay attention there. And then we have a under Pelicans and Clippers, 100% of the money, and the tickets are on the under. And I think that the market reflects that, because it was 226.5. Now you're looking at 223. 227 it opened. Now you're looking at 223. So yeah, like I'm telling you, it's 100% of the tickets, 100% of the bets are on the under in New Orleans and the Clippers. Sharp money, real quickly, sorry, not to interrupt you. The problem with the NBA with the sharp money is you got to get down real quickly because the lines move so significantly. And what happens in the NBA, what I've seen over the last 2 years, is that the betting syndicates realize that they could make a lot of money with very little risk. The books are so afraid because of the injuries, the sitting out, and when they're getting the information, that they move the lines so quickly and so significantly that they open up such huge middles that they almost force these guys not to take positions. In fact, 2 years ago, I can tell you with certainty, the majority of the action, especially on totals, will all middles, not true positions. They made so much money doing that. They did it again last year. And I'm seeing the same stuff happening because when you're able to move the market like that, why wouldn't you do it? Like, if you're having 5 and 6 point middles every night and they're actually landing there, why wouldn't you do it? That's why I'm always cautious about giving out a Steam report in the NBA, like early in the day, because you're going to come back later and it's going to have flipped on us. But, sometimes there's some of those real positions like Portland today against Denver. Like I said, there's all Denver public money, but I see sharp Portland money in the accounts. Those, I'm not concerned on a play like that it's just manipulation and or just taking advantage of the injuries in the middle that's going to open up. Like, that's a legit move there.
Well, all the money came in on the Pacers because Trae Young is going to be out tonight. Of course, Pacers are missing everybody.
And the Sixers. Wow, they're liking the Sixers too as dogs. They were favorites. They opened favorites, the Sixers, huh?
Yeah. I was talking to Teddy before the show, Gianni. The Pacers are playing out a guy. He was like, "Who's that guy? where did he play college?"
Do you know why the Sixers opened the favorites? They're now the underdog, but they're getting the public money.
Probably because Embiid. Honestly, because I think it's because Embiid is playing, and Embiid is so bad and banged up now. I think it actually hurts the 76. I will ask Teddy that. I'll ask Teddy when he comes on, because I actually think the Sixers are worse off with Embiid playing. I'll ask Dan about that too.
Again, you see reverse line movement, but to that degree, that's crazy.
Yeah. Let's talk a little UFC. Anything?
Listen, I never push, like, promote. I tell you what's up for sale, but I never say, I got this morning. I swear to you, my originator in UFC, on my life, I'm telling you this, came in with 7 plays and 2 of them double, like 2 X's. And I was like, wow. It never comes in like that. Like, I've been getting like 2 from him, 3 at the most, and then my other guy gives me a couple, then I have a couple, and we put a whole card together of volume. My man came in today, and I liked 6 of the 7. Confirmed, send them out. So if you're ever going to jump on my MMA card, this is a good one to do it. Do you like this UFC card?
Yeah, there's a few spots I like. I like some underdogs in this one. We'll start main event. Me too.
Real quickly, let me give you my main event, and then you tell me what you like.
Okay.
I think Onama's live. I really do. I don't think Garcia has the advantages he's had up until this point. He's not going to have that power edge here. That's been his big difference maker. And because of that, I think we're going to get some time as well. My guy came in on the over 1.5. I agree with that. I released that to subscribers. I like the Onama side myself. That's just my side. I gave that as well. I like Onama, and I like the over in that fight.
I'm with you. I think Acosta's live. I actually like Garcia in that one, but I haven't bet it. It's not a strong position. I like Acosta. He's live. He's so annoying. Yeah, he's so annoying to fight. He's just like one of those guys that squeaks out wins. Jeremiah Wells, I think, is live against Garimbo. I actually like Wells a lot as the underdog. I'm not a Garimbo guy. And I like Davale over Dolgarian as an underdog.
And I heard yesterday Dave Mason gave out Dolgarian and Daval. So they bet Dolgarian early and then Daval late. Which
I like Daval.
Shows it on the line. Because once that line moves that much, because Dolgarian was like minus 160. You know what I mean? He got up to like 250. Yeah. So it makes sense to see that kind of move. So you got that sharp money coming in on Daval late.
Any other underdogs you like on this card?
Let me see. Phil Rowe. I think Phil Rowe's live. Coming in off a nice knockout win against Lusa. He had his back to the wall. And I like the way he responded. And nice win on the Contender Series. I remember doing research for him. And I think beating Oban Elliott, stock went up too high because Oban was undefeated. And Oban was coming off that performance bonus knockout against Hafez, remember? But he hadn't beat anyone. He beat Woodburn, who doesn't have a UFC win. He beat Preston Parsons, who's, lost 3 of his last 4. He beat Hafez, who only beat Mickey Gall. Like, wasn't all that impressive. He just had an impressive record. And I think because of that, is a little bit overpriced against a veteran like Rowe, who's just a tough out, man.
I agree. All right, Gianni, you mentioned your UFC pack is up. What else do you have up for clients?
Yep. My Saturday college football, again, 10 weeks we've had college football. 9 of those we've turned to profit. And last week was like this slim. That's why we are going to have a huge week in college football. I don't even have to release a 5%. The 4% are strong enough. I promise you that. Big day tomorrow in college football. Big day in the UFC. That package went up today. Once the originator came through, NFL will be up later today with the 5%, going for our 3rd straight 5% winner in the NFL. I've only released 4 so far in 2025. 3 of those won. Got another one on Sunday. Steam Room Sunday as well. Plus EV teasers towards the end. A lot of fun. Make sure you join us as we go through each game side total props. And like I said, I'll be on Last Call with Ariel on Sunday and tomorrow with Kelly for college football. Best of luck to everyone this weekend. Do some damage.
All right, Gianni the Greek, thank you so much for getting us started. A couple questions in the chat here. I'll take someone's asking about is there any NHL. The only move I've seen is a little play on the over in the Washington Islanders, and I kind of like the Grand Salami under. You got a very low total in that Islanders Washington game. It's only up to 6, so if that game could absolutely tank if you're trying to bet the Grand Salami and you're betting the over, that's the game that could hurt. So I would take the under on that one. And someone asked about playing series at minus 200 or Toronto to win. I would just play it game by game for MLB. All right, hit the like button, guys, because we got to bring in Teddy Covers for Football Friday. That's a eerily weird mask, Teddy. It kind of takes you back when you pop up on screen.
Sure. But so let me start with this. Your costume is 10 out of 10. And
thank you.
Dan's costume might be 11 out of 10. That was brilliant. That was with the bowling stuff in the background. I mean,
the dude abides, Teddy.
That's really good, dude. Well done. That's a mask that Isaac had. I'm like, all right, let me throw it on.
But Teddy's handicapping 1 billion NFL games and 1 billion college football games and 1 billion NBA games. He's like, I don't have time to dress up in a costume. But give me a damn mask, Isaac. I got to go on air.
Nobody got time for that.
Oh, all right. Well, Teddy, Real quick, let's ask this question. Gianni was saying, why is all the money coming in? Do we get this line move where Philly opens -3 and now Boston is almost the favorite at -1? Is it because Embiid's playing and people think the 76ers are worse with Embiid playing?
So let me start with this. If you spend your life worrying about NBA line moves, it's going to make you crazy. All right? It will. And what I've done is I don't care who's playing. And the markets only care who's playing. I care what team's playing well. Here, let me take this.
I got you.
Yeah. It's tough. That was good. I can come on and do it, but I can't give analysis with it. Fair enough. All right. So in terms of Boston and Philadelphia, the markets, Philly's wildly overachieved to market expectations in early season play. Boston hasn't. But last time out, Boston played really well. I would not surprised that they took a little money here. And, of course, these two teams, it's a rematch already. And the first meeting between these two teams came down to one play at the end where one play on each end, on each end of the court. But Boston had 3 shots to win the game, and they missed it. Peyton Pritchard missed all 3 of them. But it was a 1-point decision. I'm not surprised that we've seen money coming for the Celtics in this one. But, again, NBA trying – what Gianni does and what I do in the NBA are pretty much the exact opposite. You know, Gianni's trying to get ahead of these line moves. I could care less about the line moves. I'm really not worried about who's playing and who's not. Even star players. Look at the Milwaukee last night when Giannis said, okay, they beat Golden State. Happens every day in the NBA. So the market's fixated on who's in and who's out. I fixate on what teams are playing well and what teams aren't. And that's a very different mentality. But all these NBA line moves, 90% plus, he was talking about it. They're trying to get a middle. They're trying to get out ahead of something. They're worried about this injury. They're worried about that injury. And 100% of my plays are this team's playing well. That team isn't. Let's bet it. You know, this team's playing poorly. Let's bet against them. This team's playing well. And I don't worry about the individual players nearly as much as the markets do.
Me and my guys were discussing. We need to track when these star players sit. Because I swear the line moves and then they do what happened last night all the time. The role players play great. The other team loses a little and then you're getting the best of the number. It's just like everything works in your favor. I swear we need to track that because had I seen Giannis was out, it would have been a bet on Milwaukee. It happens every single day, like you said. So, all right. Well, let's talk some other sports. We got to go over MLB. We get the World Series tonight. How do you break this one down? You got Yamamoto going. I'm going to go over a prop for him a little bit later, but I'm kind of surprised at this line. But again, chasing line moves, whatever. I'm pretty surprised we got the Dodgers here. I'm guessing it's because of pitching. Over under 7.5. What's your breakdown?
So Game 6 is where we see magic. You know, Carlton Fisk against Cincinnati, Reggie Jackson against the Dodgers. For people that are as old as me, you'll remember both of those. Bill Buckner against the Mets, Joe Carter against the Phillies. Josh Beckett with a complete game shutout against the Yankees. David Freese against the Rangers. There is a ton of MLB lore and history when it comes to Game 6 of the World Series. If you're not pumped about this game, you should be. The Dodgers have now lost 2 straight. They lost 5 straight in September. They had a 4-game losing streak in August. They had a 7-game skid in July. They had a 4-game skid in May. They had a pair of 3-game losing streaks in April. It's not like the Dodgers can't lose 3 in a row. They've done it basically every month of this year. And as we get to Game 6, there's something that's very clear. This series has been mispriced from the get-go, all right? Very clear. If you watch the series, the Dodgers are not and do not deserve to be 2-1 favorites against the Blue Jays. And, in fact, if you look at the odds for the series right now, it's Toronto who's 2-1 favorites on a no-big line in order to get back one of these games in Toronto to come away with the World Series title. So in my mind, this series had been mispriced from the get-go. And when you see a situation like that, I can't play it with the favorite. I can't. So a priori, I'm looking at Toronto and or the total for this one. Yamamoto's pitched back-to-back complete games. In October, 32 batters faced each time, plus 100 pitches each time. And it's not like he's been immaculate. He got beat up by the Phillies. He got beat up by the Angels. He got beat up by the Brewers. Couldn't get out of the first inning. And we're talking about Sasaki coming in behind him. Yamamoto's going to go 8 or 7, and then Sasaki's coming behind him. Sasaki hasn't been dominant. Twice in his last 4 outings he's got hit. He gave up a run against the Brewers. He gave up 2 walks against Toronto and is only showing against them. He's only thrown once in the last 2 weeks. He's no rhythm there. And the rest of the Dodgers bullpen is dicey. I mean, it is. We saw that clearly in LA. Who's got the hotter bats? Well, Dodgers aren't getting what they need from Mookie, from Muncy, from a bunch of guys have been cold. This lineup's not hitting. Since the 4th inning of Game 3 that they won, Dodgers bats have been ice cold. Toronto's hitting. Better lineup. Better current form. I'll take my chances with the Blue Jays at the plus price. And yes, that is a client play for my clients over at WagerTalk.com.
Couldn't agree more with you. Some of the Dodgers bats have just gotten so ice cold at the worst times. Just Mookie Betts, felt bad for him when he was talking about how bad he was playing. But what are you going to do? I know what we're going to do. We're going to take the plus money. Let's talk college football. Oklahoma, Tennessee here. Oklahoma's defense is fantastic. I don't know what we can expect from the quarterback. Tennessee's 3rd-ranked passing attack. Oklahoma 10th best pass defense. How do you break this game down?
Sure. So when, again, looking at the Odds Logic live odds screen right now, I'm seeing a mix of Tennessee -2.5 / Tennessee -3. Total in this game sitting at 55 right now. Tennessee beat them by 10 in Norman last year. Now, OK gets a chance for road revenge. That being said, last year the Sooners had 34 carries for 36 net yards in that game. And the 25-15 final, well, Oklahoma scored a touchdown last. It was a pretty one-sided game. Tennessee was the better team significantly. This is their only home game at night. This only night home game of this season at Neyland. They're going to break out the dark mode jerseys. It's a huge game for the Vols. They have 2 losses this season. They lost to Georgia by a field goal in overtime. They lost to Alabama by 17, but don't be fooled by that final score. There was a 99-yard pick six on the last play before halftime that turned what would have been a 3-point deficit into a 17-point deficit. 2 touchdown swing on that legit 14-point swing. They out-yarded the Crimson Tide. They had fewer punts than the Crimson Tide, but Tennessee didn't make the mistakes. And when you make big mistakes, you lose games. They make the big mistakes here, they'll lose this one. I had Oklahoma against Michigan early September. The Sooners got it done, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't pretty. And what stood out to me in that game was their lack of playmakers on offense. They won 24-13. The defense did the job. The offense struggled. And that hasn't changed since. They beat Temple the week after. That was September 13th. Since September 13th, Oklahoma's a grand total of 1 point spread cover. That came at South Carolina. And even that game, the offense didn't work particularly well. They lost to Texas. The offense didn't work. They lost to Ole Miss last week. The offense was decent, but the defense couldn't get stops, especially when it mattered most in the 4th quarter. John Mateer, the quarterback, the transfer from Washington State, who was expected to be a difference maker for the Sooners. He's been banged up all year. He's only 5 touchdown passes his last 6 games. Same number of interceptions during that span. He's taken 9 sacks over the last 3 starts. And perhaps most importantly, I've not been impressed with the Sooners' receiving core. This is not an elite receiving core. Tennessee's defense is certainly something of a concern. But I don't think that when it comes to these 2 teams on this field, that Oklahoma has the offensive firepower to hang around. I think the Vols find a way. They beat them last year. I think they beat them this year. Tennessee minus, and if I'm saying Tennessee, it's -2.5, not -3. Vols -2.5 is the only way I can look in this one, even though Oklahoma is that defensive-minded dog. I don't think they're the better of the 2 teams.
I spoke with Joe Ranieri yesterday, and I really like your take. I'm fascinated by this Louisiana governor stepping in and saying this athletic director is not hiring the next coach. We're not doing these buyouts anymore. The AD just got. What's your take on this? This is crazy. This is insane to me that a governor steps in, but it's a state school. What was your take on this?
Silliness. It's just silliness. So what's the governor's goal in this? Only one goal. Get votes. That's his goal. Pander to the public. So the governor doesn't know anything about what's going on in the AD. He doesn't know anything about what's going on in the college football coaching situation. All I know is that this is a really good year to be a college football coach. If you have a good year, you're getting a raise wherever you are because there's going to be suitors. But don't think for a minute that people think about the Penn State job. Oh, this is the best job. LSU job is being the best job. These are not the best jobs in the conferences. and the fan bases are rabid in both of them. Whoever gets the LSU job, whoever gets the Penn State job, I'll take the under 4 years for either one.
Who would want that LSU job? You got to deal with the fan base and the governor? Wait a minute.
And your schedule.
Your schedule.
Yeah, let's not forget that.
Who wants that job? No way. That's why I think Kurt Signetti just did the most brilliant thing. I'll saddle up here at IU.
Sure, and I don't blame him. You know, I came on and I came up quote, you know, because he'll get fired. And the right way to have phrased that would have been, Indiana will regret that Signetti contract by the end of it. But with all of you, someone's going to regret. You know, when you sign players to 10-year deals, you get 5 years of Mookie Betts at the end of his career. You know, when you sign coaches to 10-year deals, you get at the end of it sometimes not what you want, and that's what it takes to hire a coach now. So I mean, it's a tough gig for ADs. That's a tough gig right now.
Yeah. All right, you get the big boy game, and then we're going to do sell me. NFL, Chiefs, Bills. I'm seeing -1.5, -2, over under 52.5. All right. Break it down for us. Who you got in this one?
So there's certainly lots of history between Sean McDermott and Andy Reid to look at. These teams have played 9 times since 2020. It's like a division rival, but they're not in the same division. Kansas City, 5-4 in those games. That being said, the last 4 years in the regular season, the Bills 4-0 straight up against the Chiefs. The KC won the regular season meeting in 2020. Oh, we throw out everything in 2020. But they have gone 4-0 in January, and Buffalo's gone 4-0 in October, and November, and December. They trade all those regular season wins for 1 win in January. That being said, last time they met, 32-29 last January. KC and Arrowhead that meeting. But before that, 30-21, 27-24, 20-17, 24-20. All competitive games and all unders. So looking at the Odds Logic live odds screen right now for at Kansas City and Buffalo, and I'm seeing KC -1.5. Let's call it 1.5. There are 2s out there. 52.5. The total, a little bit of juice to the over for that one. Here's the key. I'm going to look at the total here before I look at the side. Sidewise, this is going to come down to who's got the ball last. You know, it really does, and it feels that way. But total-wise, I think there's something we can do in this ballgame. What does Buffalo want to do? They want to keep Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs' offense off the field. What does Kansas City want to do? They want to keep Josh Allen, and the Bills' offense off the field. What do we see when these two teams meet? We see low possession games. You know, NFL games, you can have 10, 11, 12, 13 possessions per team, 14 on occasion. In this type of game, we would expect 8 possessions per team, maybe 7 long, slow drives. And I think it's going to be very methodical. You know, when we look at how Kansas City's played like the best team in the league since that 0-2 start. The Chiefs have been dynamite. They've been able to rely on their defense and the offense. It's not all about big plays. You know, it's been very balanced. They can run the football effectively. They can short pass effectively. I don't see Mahomes firing away downfield. Same story with Buffalo. You know, we saw Cook run wild last week. And again, I'm not going to compare Carolina's defense to what they're going to see in Kansas City, but I would expect a run-heavy game plan for Buffalo. Now, the second half of this game could get weird. You know how it goes. You know, everyone's got a plan to get punched in the face. And both teams want low possession games until somebody falls behind. I think the way to go here is first half under 26.5, the prevailing number. I'm expecting a game in the first half. They might kick some field goals too. It's possible. I don't see we'll see much of that after halftime. It'll be let's go for it on 4th down. Let's get another touchdown. But first half under is the play that makes the most sense to this bettor. I see a low possession first half, and I'm assuming not every possession is going to end in a touchdown.
All right. Like the under in the first half. Sneaky look. I like that one, Teddy. We're going to do sell me. But first off, tell everyone what you have up. We got a big weekend.
Yeah. So right now I just put MLB up. You've just got the play here for free, so don't buy it. That being said, if you want to get anything, get an extended service package. You know, don't worry about what's the individual play is for sale. Get on board for the weekend. Get on board for the week. Get on board for the rest of the year. Great deals right now on my homepage, wt.buzz/TC. And yeah, last weekend I was awful. God, last weekend was as bad as it gets. That being said, What do you do when you have a crappy weekend? It's really important for yourself. It's really important for the clients. All we've done is win all week. Had a great week so far, winning in baseball, winning in NBA, and I expect to be winning in football this weekend. I'm not looking at last weekend as being the harbinger of things to come. Football package will be posted as the day progresses. Check out my homepage, w.buzz/DC. I'm playing the World Series. I'm playing the NBA already. You get those plays right now on my page. Again, w.buzz/DC. Or this is the website, WagerTalk.com.
All right. It's a segment everyone's been waiting for. It's Sell Me. The dude comes on.
Yes.
Randomly
Refer to me
picks.
correctly. I'm the dude, so that's what you call me, or his dudeness, or El Duder, or El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing. So that's what you refer to me as, Andy. But yes, Sell Me is here. If you've never tuned in before, I give these guys a random game here, and they have to sell me on whichever side I assign them to. Now, last week, Andy and I got eliminated from Survivor. So what I usually like doing is make Andy pick against his Survivor team. He had to pick the Jets last week, and he won with the Jets, much to the chagrin of his Survivor entry, which was probably a lot better than beating Teddy in our Dumb Friday segment. But boys, really, you have to sell me on why isn't Bills and the Chiefs flexed into this Sunday night football game as opposed to the Washington Commanders and Seattle Seahawks. But for what it's worth, Seattle's definitely, I would say, exceeded some expectations in early season. It looks like Washington's going to be getting their quarterback back in Jaden Daniels. So the line that we're looking at here, guys, it's nice and even. You guys are going to have to sell me on a key number. On 3 here is what we're seeing in the total, sitting around 48. Teddy, road chalk are the Seattle Seahawks. That's your side. Andy, you're fighting with the home team getting their quarterback back. Teddy, kick us off. Why are we laying the chalk with Seattle on the road? Sell me on that NFL side.
So I have the Seahawks under 8.5 wins, and I'm going to lose that bet. One thing that happens when you're losing a season win bet is you pay a lot of attention. Whatever season win bets you have, you pay a lot of attention to those teams. And Seattle's really good. All right. There's nothing fraudulent about what the Seahawks have done so far this season. All right. They're the most impressive thing to me has been how strong Seattle's been in the trenches. And that was supposed to be an area of strength for Washington. It hasn't been. Washington's the oldest team in the NFL. And what happens when you have an old team and things don't break right? You know, they're 3-5. They've lost 3 in a row. This team everyone was brought in to win now, and they're not winning now. So we have a Seahawks team that's been underpriced all year, that's clicking on all cylinders, that's showing absolute signs of being every bit as good as their record would indicate. And we have a Washington team who I also have a season win bet to bet under the total. So at least we got that part of the equation is looking good. But Washington, as an ancient team, again, they're not just the oldest team, they're the oldest team in the league by far. And when the old guys who are getting checks, things don't go right, they're checking out. Don't want any part of the Commanders right now. Seattle or pass for this better.
So no Terry McLaurin alluding to those old folks who are checking out. It doesn't seem like Barf is too worried about that. All right, so you get to sell me on the home side here. Let me know, Lone Star, is he also going to Washington Commanders here?
Pretty simple. Kitchen sink game for Washington. As Teddy said, they lost 3 in a row. They're watching their playoff hopes disappear. They're going to go all out. They're bringing Jaden Daniels back. I don't even know if he's 100%, but that just shows me how important this game is. And fact is, Jaden Daniels, they beat the Chargers this year. And when you look at Washington at home, their first home game, they beat the Giants easily. They beat the Raiders easily, and then they lost to the Bears, but that was 1 point. So they have covered the spread in every single home game. And Seattle, they're due for a letdown spot. They've been playing way, way above their level. This is a primetime game on the road. It's going to be too much for them. Could they win a close one? Yeah, absolutely. But this is a team that has won 5 out of the last 6 games. They're due for a letdown spot. And all the motivation goes to Washington. Seattle's kind of playing with house money a little bit right now. Washington's in a must-win situation, getting their starting quarterback back. So I'll take the 3 points happily. Don't know if they win, but I'll grab those 3 points.
Andy's saying, yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man. is what Teddy has to say about that breakdown. All right, gentlemen, I always love it. Thanks for the breakdowns there. NFL, which side were you sold on? Seattle Seahawks, Washington Commanders. Comment below and let us know. And Teddy, throw your mask back on real quick so people can get a screenshot of our Halloween costumes all together. So thanks for tuning in. Wager Talk Today, Halloween edition. There you go. Now they got their screenshot. Well done, Joe.
Teddy covers, everyone. Thank you very much. Let's continue your big week, Teddy. Let's have a big weekend. Thank you very much. An awesome mask. And tell Isaac we all said hi. Thank you for letting you use the mask. All right, guys. It occurred to me before the show, I'm supposed to get up here and tell you guys what I have up for sale on the website, and it's pretty hard for me to be taken seriously right now. So I'll just say we have our NFL Week 9 prop pack. And, if I could be serious, this has been one of the bright spots for 2025. 8-4 last week, aiming to hit 58%, and we are at 57% on NFL props. We had a big week last week. No plays last night. We laid off, and it was very smart because we would have been terrible. But we got about 9 plays that are up right now. And we also have 3 NBA and 1 NHL props that is up, and we're still running that special. $69 for 7 days worth of props. This is how you play props. You play them over the course of a week. One play is fine, but the way that we do props, we're trying to break this down into chunks of 7 days because we're going to be playing a lot of the same players. So we're going to go over some free plays here and around the world, but grab that 7 days for $69. You're going to get NBA and NHL player props. So 1-1 last night in props. We lost the plus money one, but we hit the NHL one. So NFL, NBA, and NHL, that's up. We also have 1 UFC best bet that is up right now, but I would suggest going to Gianni's page. He seems to have a lot of plays up. So you want our UFC play? Great. But Gianni has a lot more up. We only have 1. He's got a bunch. So, all right. Let's do this. Marco. It's just so well done. It's just so well done. You show up. Lift it up just a little bit more.
It's a sandwich. I'm a sandwich game.
I know it's a sandwich. I'm trying to figure out what kind of sandwich. Is it a BLT?
I don't even know.
Cheeseburger. It's great. It's so great. Marco's showing up with the sandwich. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm glad you got into the spirit of things. How are you, Marco?
Very uncomfortable right now, to be honest with you. My lettuce is sweating.
Well, that's the truest shit ever because when we're doing these shows, Marco, we have these super bright lights on. I'm not wearing a sweater in California. You're not wearing a costume in Las Vegas with these bright lights on. So yeah, the comfortability department for us, just to bring people some laughs. It's what we do, Marco.
It is.
I am so jealous.
Marco's Deli. Marco's speaking.
Well, I am so jealous.
Here's my question: how does the CEO? You ended up having to get dressed up like the guy who spins the sign outside of the deli, Marco.
Hey, it's Marco's Deli. You got to do everything, man.
Well done, great. Sir. All right. Well, I will say I'm jealous that you guys don't have wigs involved because this MFer is scratchy as hell, man. My head is itching so bad right now. Here we got to start with the game. You and I are going head to head here. We got Colts, we got Steelers. Your Steelers versus my Colts. I'm interested in how you break this game down because I think my world is props betting, and I absolutely love this game for props. I believe we have 3 props for clients that are up. You got the Colts at -3, over under 50.5. How do you break this game down?
Well, I'm going to take a bet if you're wild guess that if you're betting props in this game, Andy, and any of your props are involving Indianapolis players, you don't have any unders. I'll tell you that much.
I do not have any unders on Indianapolis Colts players in the passing game.
Here's the problem with this. You texted me last night. You left me a message in Slack. I saw it when I got back home from going around trick-or-treating with the grandkids. And the situation, I saw it and I said, how can we go head-to-head when I don't like my team in this one? It's the Steelers have problems. And Mike Tomlin, Mike Tomlin is the problem. And, the situation is the defense, he's a great coach in pregame. But once games start, there's no adjustments, okay? And this has been my biggest frustration with him over the years. The New England Patriots for years, Belichick and Brady just ripped the Steelers defense apart. What they did every single time they played is they would go 5 wide, spread the defense out, and it left the tight end open constantly, or whoever was coming across the middle on a crossing pattern from the slot. Nothing's changed. He makes no adjustments to it, and they keep doing it. I saw a podcast earlier this week where Edelman for New England, he was talking about it after the Sunday night game. It's the same thing. He said, I used to salivate when we were playing the Steelers. I would get 8 or 9 receptions every game because they never changed anything. And that's the frustration. The Colts, this team is an offensive juggernaut. Do you realize we're through 8 weeks of the season? And I don't know if you have the stat off the top of your head. Take a guess on the number of punts this team has had through 8 games.
Oh, my God. I mean, they said an NFL record. I mean, through 8 games, what do they have, like 16, 20?
16 is where they're at. That's,
Unbelievable.
They're averaging 2 punts per game. That's insane. This is a team that's averaged 29 points or scored 29 points or more in every game but one. The one game that they didn't score 29 points, it was a 27-20 loss to the Rams. Do you remember that game? Do you remember the touchdown that he fumbles the ball as he's crossing the goal line? And they had a touchdown called back because of a holding call, a 70-some-yard run. This team has just been an offensive juggernaut. And kudos to what they've got. They've got the complete team. They've got, I feel, the best offensive line in football. Daniel Jones has had a rebirth in Indianapolis. And you've got a running back in Jonathan Taylor that is an absolute beast right now. So with all of this of what I'm going at, and then I look at the Steelers defense that's been shredded in 4 of their 7 games for 31 or more points. Here's where everybody got the misconception of the Steeler defense. They played 3 games in a row where they held the opposing teams down. The problem, those 3 teams that they held down, one was New England, Drake May, early in the season. Okay, this is a guy that still hasn't completed a full season of starts yet, just closing in on that now. Carson Wentz for Minnesota, he's been a nightmare. And then the rookie Dylan Gabriel for Cleveland. Those are the only 3 offenses that the Steelers have stopped this year. Everybody else has toasted them. Where am I going in this one? It's simple. I'm taking Indianapolis team total over 26.5. That's the way I'm going to play it. As a fan, what am I rooting for? Pittsburgh 31-30. I'll be happy with that. But realistically, it's the Indianapolis Colts offense, and that's the only way I can look at this game.
Your team, I don't know if Tomlin realizes it, but you guys could throw all over this Colts secondary. We're not that good in the secondary. If they opened it up and let DK Metcalf do what he does, that guy could have 8 catches for 120. We cannot stop dynamic wide receivers. It's just, can you figure it out and get it going? So it's a big weakness for the Colts. Secondary is gettable. It's very, very gettable. So let's move to college football. Let's talk Vanderbilt in Texas. Vanderbilt's coming off a win. I read this where they had 265 yards of offense. But they did get the win. Credit to them. They are 7-1. But this Texas defense continues to be great. Arch Manning looks like he's going to play. What's your take on Vanderbilt and Texas here?
Vanderbilt's been a great story, okay? What they've done, and, you always love to see these teams, the smaller teams out of the conference have a run like this. But let's be honest. First of all, they are, you hear me refer to it a lot, a 200 club member. They do run the football and pass for over 200 yards per game. That's the good news. The bad news is the Texas defense is a beast, and they're not going to run the football against Texas. Texas has given up just 81 yards per game on the ground or 2.4 yards per play. And if you don't have the running game going, the quarterback's not going to look as good for Vanderbilt. That definitely makes things go for that team. They feed off both the offense and the running and the passing. Then you look at the schedule, and let's be honest about the Vanderbilt schedule. Yeah, they had Alabama on the schedule, and that was their one really big test, and they failed. They lose by 16 on the road to Alabama. Their out-of-conference schedule was Charleston Southern, Virginia Tech, second game of the season. Remember, Virginia Tech opened the season 0-3, fired the coach. Georgia State and Utah State. That is a pretty pitiful out-of-conference schedule for an SEC team. For cupcakes there. Then you look at their SEC schedule. They played South Carolina. That's been a huge disappointment this year. LSU, can we say any more of a disappointment? They fired Brian Kelly last week. And then Missouri. And they caught both LSU and Missouri at home, and they were life and death last week with Missouri. I look at this game, and yeah, Texas has 2 losses. The first loss was Ohio State. It was a coin flip game. They lose by 7 in Columbus. No shame there. And then the other loss, which really was the bad loss, they lost to Florida. Florida, was winless at the time, but you got to put an asterisk there because I think Texas got caught looking ahead because the following week they were playing Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry the following week. Other than that, they've won. They've had a couple ugly wins, has Texas, but last week they found a way to win a game that they deserved to lose. And so often, guys, when you see a team, especially a good team that had a poor performance but found a way to win it, that can catapult them on a run the rest of the way. And at 2 losses, they can't afford a misstep. 2-loss SEC team, if they run the table, they can still get themselves into the playoff picture. I'm going to go ahead and take Texas, ride that defense. And to me, this is a classic buy low spot on Texas. This line, if these teams were doing what they should be doing, Texas would be a much, much bigger favorite here.
All right. I like that breakdown. We're going to break down are you doing sauce of the week or Halloween candy of the week?
No, Halloween candy. I got the memo.
This is great. All right. Normally Marco gives us his wing sauce of the week, but it's Halloween. We got to do Halloween candy of the week. So give us that. And then we got a couple questions in the chat, Marco, about Breeders' Cup. If you have any thoughts on Breeders' Cup, give us our Halloween candy of the week and what team or player this applies to.
Well, candy, I'm going to go classic. I'm a Reese's peanut butter guy. That's it. You give me the Reese's peanut butter cups. That's what I want. But for my childhood and my favorite candy as a kid, and I still crave it now, we got to bring Dan in because you will never heard of this candy, Andy, but I think Dan will.
Oh.
Pennsylvania Company, Central Pennsylvania. What candy am I going with, Dan?
Is it the one with the bunny on it? I forget the name of it. Which one is it?
No, nobody. It's Central Pennsylvania. I passed their factory on the way to Penn State. They're still in business today.
Damn it. I leave Pennsylvania for 2 years and I got my geography. I was
going to say Hershey's, but that's not right, is it?
No,
Hershey,
it wouldn't be Hershey. That's too big. This is like a fancy.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm pretty sure.
I can tell you this, but if you're in a area that has a Cracker Barrel, they have in their gift shop, the old school candy, and they have it. It's from Altoona, PA. Will that help you?
Boyer. Does Fortune have
it? Is it Boyer?
Boyer is the manufacturer.
Boyer, yeah, Boyer. So what's their big candy? I mean, dude, this is
Mallow
like
cups.
years ago.
Mallow cups.
Mallow
the
cups.
Mallow
I've had
cup.
Mallow cups.
Oh, I couldn't do the Mallow cups.
Come on. They had, and as a kid, guys, they used to have, you'd open the wrapper up and they sat like Reese's peanut butter cups. You sit on a piece of cardboard.
They're
but the
filled with
cardboard were little coins. they had different amounts.
You're
you
right.
collected the coins, and once you collected so many coins, you mailed those back to Boyer, and they would send you free candy. That's how you get a body like this.
All right. So what team or player is the Mallow Cup?
Well, since Marshmallow's soft, that'd be the Steeler defense.
I was gonna say it used to be
great.
really popular. It used to be really good, and
Good,
you used to just be able to send in stuff and get free championships. I was gonna say the Steelers fit that bill.
That's great.
Like
All right.
nonstop. But yeah, the one I was thinking of doesn't Cadbury has a factory in Pennsylvania too, don't they? But it's not up north. I think it's more
but
sensitive to
Cadbury's
that.
still, Cadbury's mainstream. The Easter time, they're
they had a
Cadbury
factory
eggs.
for
Here,
it,
here's
though,
the-
yeah.
yeah.
The
Now I
Mallow
gotta
Cup.
go- I gotta go.
That's a
I gotta go
throwback,
get that.
baby.
Yeah.
Do you have any
we
thoughts
gotta
on
get-
Do you have any thoughts on Breeder Cup, real quick, Marco?
I think that the horse that I'm going to go with, and I know with the Scratch of Sovereignty, it changes the race, and a lot of people are going to look to Fierceness. But the thing about Fierceness is, and as an owner, it honestly pisses me off when they do this. Is a bettor, it's going to make the race more fair. But Chad Brown has two horses in this race. Sierra Leone, which is the top contender. And then the other horse, I don't have the program in front of me. It's just look at Chad Brown and you'll see. The same owner owns both horses. The other horse has zero shot in this race. No shot at all. He's in there for one reason and one reason only. Sierra Leone is a stone cold closer, and Fierceness will be on the front end. They want to have a rabbit in the race to try to soften up Fierceness and set fast fractions to try to set it up for Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone will be coming late in the race, but I think the horse you got to look at in this race is the Japanese horse Forever Young.
Oh,
That's
okay.
my choice.
All right. Great breakdown. I know you guys did bet on it. You got your deli video. What else do you have up for clients at WagerTalk?
Deli. Yeah, we got, guys, we had another big week last week in football. We hit our 5% play. 5% play last week was in the NFL. It was a lot easier than the final score might have seemed in that game. We had Houston that absolutely dominated the 49ers last week from pillar to post, and yet it was still somehow close at one point in the third quarter. But 5% have been just absolute money in the bank. We're going to have another 5% this weekend. 34-16 on these 5% plays since February. Not since February of this year, since February of last year. We don't throw them out just to throw them out. Best way to go, Weekend Warrior for $49. If you love that Weekend Warrior package where you get Saturday and Sunday all the football, and then if we have a Monday night play, you get that thrown in. How about getting all of our football plays for $35 a week? Check out the WagerTalk rest of the college and pro package. It's $490. That comes out to just $35 per week. That gets you the college through the national championship and gets you the NFL through the Super Bowl. Either one of those two packages, you'll never miss a play. We got the football week off to a good start last night. We had the under in the Ravens game, and we had Texas San Antonio in the college game. So nice 2-0 night in football, ready for a big weekend.
All right, let's do it, Marco. Continued success on those 5% plays. Awesome costume. Now go wash that lettuce.
All right, guys. It's wilted a little bit. My wife will be disappointed.
Marco D'Angelo. Let's go all around the world, and then we're gonna close out with some NFL spread picks. Okay, I am just fascinated by this. Yamamoto on outs total is only 18.5. This guy's gone 27 outs last two games. You're not saving him for anything. This is what you brought him in to do, is pitch full games. I will gladly take Yamamoto. Like I don't think the Dodgers want anything to do with their bullpen. It's like complete last resort. So Yamamoto over his outs. I'm going back to Tyrese Maxey over 10.5 rebounds plus assists. This was our $5 Tuesday play. This guy's playing over 40 minutes per game, 3 straight games with 12 plus rebounds plus assist. And he's averaging 8.3 rebound chances and 15 potential assists. When I look at these categories, if the prop is less than half of the total of their rebound chances and potential assists, that means you're looking to play the over. So you add 8.3 to 15, you're at 23 and a half, and now we only need 10.5 to get over. So I really like the numbers on that one. And then we'll go to the Chiefs and Bills. Juju Smith-Schuster, the books are sleeping on this one. 12.5 receiving yards. He's gone over this in 6 straight games. I know they got Worthy. I know they got Rice, but we're getting a discount on this. He's got 2 catches in each of those games, and in 5 of those 6 games, he has 1 catch of 12 yards in every game. In 5 out of the 6, 1 reception of 12 plus yards. So he can get this in 1 catch. So Juju Smith-Schuster over 12.5 receiving. If you want all of our client best bets for NFL, those are up right now. 1 pack gets you all plays for all of Sunday and Monday Night Football. 8-4 last week, and we're hitting 57%. Really happy with what we've been doing. And also 7 days of props in NBA and NHL. You want to get that today, guys. We got 4 props that are up tonight. This is a very high volume day for us. We normally have 1. We got 4. We got 3 in the NBA, and we got 1 in the NHL. So jump on board, get that 7 days, and lock it in today so you can start cashing in on these props. Okay, Dan, let's go on in here and let's talk some spreads. Thank God we don't have to talk about that pesky Survivor. So pissed off at the
it's like, it was so funny because on Friday we were like, man, if the Jets eliminate us, then good job, Jets. You got your 1 win. However, just the fashion in which it happened, man, this aggression will not stand, man. That was absolutely brutal.
Yes, I know. I don't know who I'm more mad at, the Bengals or the Jets. It's like, what are you winning for, Jets?
Yeah. Well, they kind of set themselves up like they could have won 1. Yeah, it was just an absolute choke job by the Bengals. You know, Joe Flacco gets a little bit banged up, but we move on. Now we don't have to pick one game. And we don't. That's what I hate about, like, well, I'm saving this team for this week. I'm saving this team for I loved the Eagles last week, but I had to save them for Thanksgiving, and now I'm eliminated. You know what I mean? It's just like, why do you do it? Why do you do it?
Skinny John Candy and the young dude.
And you're out of your element, Donnie. That, of course, is Walter, which I'm pretty sure. Yes. What is the dude said? Walter goes, "You're not wrong, Walter. You're just an asshole."
All right. Well, let's pull up what I'm doing this week in the contest. I had my first bad week of the year. I went 1-4, but I'm still within 6 points of the leader. The theme this week, Dan, I actually found this week a little bit difficult. And I was like, you know what? I'm just fading bad defenses. That's going to be the theme this week. This Pittsburgh Steelers defense is bad. The Colts have been explosive. I know it's on the road. But I'm with Marco that the Steelers team, I don't think they're going to have the weapons to exploit the Colts defense. And I've watched the Steelers defense give up a lot of yards and a lot of points. So I'm going to take the Colts. Chargers, I love that BetOnline gives us this below 10. If it was 10, I'd probably stay off. But again, this is the Titans. We're fading bad defenses, and the Titans' defense bad. And all of a sudden, the Chargers have the best wide receiving core in the league. This tight end with Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey and Quentin Johnston. My God, this Chargers offense is terrifying. The Detroit Lions, -9. I'm calling such big shenanigans on this Vikings team. They put Carson Wentz out there who can barely hold his shoulder up. Now he has to have season-ending surgery. J.J. McCarthy's all of a sudden healthy and back. There's something weird going on with the Vikings. Don't be surprised if after the season a bunch of stuff comes out about this Vikings team. I don't buy them at all. There's something weird going on there. This 49ers team, I don't think they're good, but this Giants team, I think, has lost all the wind in its sails. With Scatterboo out, Jackson Dart seems to be, he seems to be pretty bummed. And I get it. It was like his best friend on the team. This Giants rush defense is one of the worst in the league. This 49ers team can control the clock with McCaffrey. So I like the 49ers to go to the Giants and get the win. And then I just not a believer of this Bills team. They cannot get their defense healthy, Dan. If they had all their players, this Bills defense would be good, but they're not healthy at all. This is a Chiefs offense that's clicking. I just don't think Bills are going to be able to make the stops when they need them. So I'm going all favorites here, but the theme is I'm fading bad defenses.
I mean, the favorites, like a 18-4 run, something like that. So, Andy, I will offer, I'm sure you have your own water or coffee just to wash down all that chalk that you're eating. on this card. But for me, so you and I are seeing a little bit similar. We're head to head on one, but we're on the same side for another. So this is our picks for our Wooder and Wawa entry. That's our Circa entry, and we're with you on San Francisco. It's a case of I think the Giants are about to lose the same game twice. Losing to the Eagles, not only do they lose, but they get blown out by a team who they blew out. So you know what I mean? Like internally, they probably felt like, wow, we're on the same plane as the Eagles. They lose Scatabo in that game. And they also, lose in rough fashion. And the 49ers coming off of a loss that they just got completely dominated in the time of possession. I think they flipped that. This is the pick that I got the most pushback on. The comments, and the show is up live right now. The Let's Make Millions. Me and Berg make our picks each and every week, and we give your reasoning for it. Andy and I like sharing them here on Friday, but you can check that out on the channel right now. This one is just a case taken Atlanta of if everything that we think about Atlanta and everything that we know about Drake May and New England and how great they look, if all of that is true, Andy, why is this line under 6.5 points? Why is New England not a touchdown or more favorite? This game reeks of the line smelling. Hopefully we get some bad officiating in this one, but I think you're looking at a field goal or an outright win for Atlanta. The one that you and I are head to head on falls in that same ilk. How is it that Detroit coming out of a bye against a Minnesota team who seems like there's all these shenanigans around them? This line should be 10, right? So it's like, well, I'm getting 1.5 points of value on Detroit. To me, that just says, and sharp money has kind of been on it too. Minnesota might be a live dog here, and I have some stats here for you, Andy. And these are those trends that just make your bet sound good because they really don't matter because they're from 90, going back to 1990, but I'm going back to 1998 with my outfit. You're going back to 87, so we can use these stats. Detroit's coming off the bye, but Minnesota is off the mini bye. 8-2 against the spread Thursday night football games that they're coming off of. So, that's kind of a bet on when they give up a lot of points, 36 or more points. They're actually 7-0 against the spread. If the following game that they do that, they're dogs of 3 or more points. In division, it could get a little wonky. I'll go shorter here. Houston, I've been looking to fade this Denver team. Houston's the one team who stays sneaky at home. Really good defense at home. This Denver offense goes up and down the way Bo Nix goes, laying the 1.5 with Houston. And last but not least, had to have a disgusting dog with those other two disgusting ones. Who is Jacksonville to be laying points on the road against anyone? That end of handicap. That's the end of handicap. Those are my picks, Andy. Much like you went 1-4. We went 2-3. We had our first losing week in 6 weeks last week. So we're looking to rebound, bounce back, and hopefully that board does it. It's a disgusting board.
Yeah, it's kind of gross board, and I know I took all favorites, but the favorites have just been hitting. I know we're coming off of a historic week. I think it can happen again. Houston was my my sixth one that I was looking at.
I think that one's tough to pick against Denver, but I don't. Denver feels a little bit. I don't think they're fugazi. I think they're still a really good team, but the sneakiest team at home has been that Houston team, who 3 of the teams who have visited them at home have had their fewest yards gained on the year. Wow. So it's just a team who plays really well at home, and I think they'll be locked in. So.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it last night. I was like, oh, Dolphins, not even competitive. Out there blowing drives.
I now saw
throwing away possessions.
Daniels, who's going to be their coach, they said that they're going to retain him through the rest of the year. Thursday night football, Andy, 0-5, and I believe they've been outscored by 78 points in their 5 Thursday night football games. Yeah, oof. Not good. Oof. Need some looser joggers, I think. Maybe the joggers are a little too tight for our man McDaniel.
I like that they're keeping him. What's the point of firing him? Just get him get through the season. Reset.
Exactly.
You're not going.
What, you're going to get Brian Kelly to coach the team? Yeah.
All right. Well, Dan, have fun tonight. Great costume. Thank you to Marco for. Thank you. You know what occurred to me? I got to go to the store And I was like, I got to take off the wig and the
I was
ears.
thinking about that too.
But now my face is painted, and people are gonna be like, what is he? So I got to wear the whole outfit, so at least people know.
Well, if it tells you
what I
anything,
am.
Andy, I sent a photo of my outfit. I even have the Deuterino shorts on, or the pants on. So the whole outfit is completed. And I sent a picture of it to my family, and they were like, "Oh, cool, you shaved your facial hair." They didn't even realize I was wearing a costume because I dressed like an asshole for free usually. So
That's great.
I think I can get away with being the dude out and about in California. You walk down the street,
You're gonna
there's
fit
20
in perfect.
dudes who
You're
look
gonna
like this.
you're gonna fit in perfect. They may not even know you're in a costume. All right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you to Marco for dressing up. Thank you to Isaac for letting Teddy borrow his mask. Thank you, Gianni, for the Steam report, and thank you guys. Have a great and safe Halloween. Please hit the like button on your way out. Leave us a comment in the comment section. Tell us what your best bet is for the weekend, and we're going to be back to do it again Monday. Let's have a big weekend. Good luck on all your plays, and we'll see you on Monday. Take care.